Okay, we're going to do a wet application on perforated vinyl on a full-size truck. So, wet applications are so much easier than dry applications, it's not even funny. You won't get any wrinkles, you won't get any bubbles. If you're working by yourself, it's no big deal. So what we're going to do, well, first let me tell you what we're using to apply it with. We've got the Ink Monkey Wrap Snot. This stuff is a lifesaver for doing wet applications. You'll have people tell you that you can use dishwashing detergent, dishwashing soap, all kinds of stuff. That's not what this is. This is an actual, we've done a lot of research to come up with this product. It'll let you slide everything and move everything into position. If you just use dish soap or something like that, what you're going to get is a lot of residue left behind. And that residue over time will cause your vinyl to start pulling away from the edges or pulling off the glass. We don't want that. We want your product to last for years, not a few months. So we highly recommend our Ink Monkey Wrap Snot. If you get our installation kit, you're going to get a bottle just like this. It's a really professional high-end bottle. It's got a pump for pressure, it's got an air release. You can turn the trigger where it's full on or where it's manual. You're going to get a felt line squeegee. I always use felt because if you just use hard plastic, sometimes you can damage your graphics, or if you get a little wrinkle in your vinyl, it's liable to tear and snag it. You're also going to get a fine blade high-end razor. Love these knives. This is about the only thing I use, so this is what I'm going to be sending you. You'll get a microfiber cloth. The only things that you're going to have to provide for yourself are some alcohol and some tape. But all this is included in our installation kit. So, first things first, I'm going to throw some of this in the back of the truck to get it out of our way. And I'm going to go clean that glass real quick, and I'm going to show you how to do a really good cleaning on glass. It's not just the glass. Alright, to clean your glass, take some alcohol, spray it down, clean it off really, really good. If you've got some pretty bad, little dirt spots or something like that, you might want to consider taking a razor, a flat blade razor, and kind of cleaning those off. Now, I've already got this glass pretty much clean. What you want to do is take your microfiber cloth, fold it a little bit, and you really, really want to hit those edges. Make sure your edges are clean because you want your vinyl to kind of wrap around those and stick. That way they're not going to pull off or peel. Now, after you've got the edges clean, clean the metal. You're going to be using some tape, and you don't want your tape to fall off while you're putting your vinyl up. You want to clean the top, sides, and the bottom. Just make sure this whole area is really, really clean. So, now we're going to take our vinyl and put it up on the glass and make sure everything fits well. So, wet application, we're going to take our vinyl, I'm going to flip it upside down, and I'm going to pull off all that backing away from the vinyl. In our wrap snot, it already comes with a basically condensed portion of our wrap solution in it, so all you'll have to do is add water to it. It's ready to go. Give it a good shake, and then pump it up. So this is ready to go. I'm going to turn our vinyl upside down and start pulling away the backing. use a little finesse when you're doing this, because you don't want your vinyl to stretch or get wrinkles or creases or anything like that. So I'm just kind of a nice, easy pull. And I'm trying only to touch the edges of the vinyl. I'm going to have to put my fingers here in the middle to get a better grip. But the vinyl's going to be fine. And wash your hands before you do this. You don't want dirty hands. You don't want grease on your fingers. Okay, so we've got the backing. I'm just going to toss it off to the side. And I'm going to use our wrap snot and just spray the far out of this thing. Let me open. You've got an adjustable nozzle on here also. So you've got a really fine mist, or if you adjust it, you've got a bigger spray area. I'm just going to give it a good misting. Just absolutely saturate it. So once this is wet, you can let this stuff basically fold over on itself, and it's going to be fine. Now if you try that with a dry application, your vinyl is going to stick like glue to that, and you're going to stretch it, rip it, tear it. It's a nightmare. So now that I've got this wet, I'm going to spray my back window. And again, I'm going to open this up a little bit more so I've got some more room, more range, and I'm just going to blast it. I have no problems with this stuff getting it absolutely soaked. Our vinyl is top of the line vinyl. It's not going to hurt the vinyl. It's not going to hurt the ink. We use all OEM ink, so it's not cheap aftermarket stuff that's going to fade and wear out on you after a few months. This stuff will last. Now I'm going to hop up in the back of the truck, and I'll put the vinyl on the window and show you how easy this is to work with. So I've got the vinyl, back glass is wet. I'm going to go ahead and saturate it again, just because, like I say, I get wet. Now, what the wrap snot lets you do is slap it in position, and you're going to be able to slide that stuff around wherever you need to take it. So, I want to take it to the left a little bit. I've got good coverage on the top, I've got good coverage on the bottom. All of my graphics. See how I was able to even just quarter of an inch, you can move this stuff around. This stuff is amazing. So everything looks about level. I've got about the same amount of distance from the top of the glass to where my vinyl is. Got good coverage there. Okay, now I'm going to take my felt squeegee, and I'm just going to start squeegeeing out from the center and working my way out. Taking the wrap snot and just kind of pushing it out. I always work from the center out on just about everything I do. That way it's pushing all the excess to the outside rather than trying to bunch it up on the inside. That's where you get wrinkles and bubbles and all that fun stuff that you really don't want to deal with. The only time I don't recommend using a wet application is if you're in a big hurry. If I had a client come in and say, hey, can you wrap this thing and get the back glass graphics on it? I've got to be in Omaha or West Plains or somewhere in 4 hours. Okay, I'll do a dry application, but they're not near as easy. If you've never done this work, absolutely do a wet application. Get our application installation kit. Okay, so now that I've got the majority of this ink snot squeegeed off, I'm just going to let this sit for a couple hours. And then I'm going to come back, trim it out, tuck in the corners, and she'll be good to go. That's all we're doing for right now. That's it. So, we've let our vinyl sit for a little while. We're going to go in and do the trim out now. So what I'm going to do is kind of pull off the backing around the glass and just tuck that in a little bit. Thing over here, just pull it back just a little bit where it's got give to it against the glass. Now I'm going to tack it back up, just get it out of my way, but I'm still leaving it kind of loose through here. Now your razor. When you're cutting vinyl, the position, how you hold your blade is pretty important. Like if I go at it like this, well, I'm going to trim off a little more than I really want to. But if I go in like this at an angle, I'm going to give myself just a hair bit more room. Then you've got an option if you're going to trim it off flush with the glass, or if you want to trim it flush with the metal. I like trimming it with the metal because it lets the vinyl wrap around the glass a little bit. So I'm just going to go in here, start my cut, and again I'm holding it at an angle. And I'm kind of feeling where my metal is. You want to be careful so you don't scratch the metal or the paint. So if you're worried about doing that, just go with the glass. This just gives you a little bit of added adhesion, trimming it with the metal. And again, I've got my angle. Now when you're pulling your vinyl away, do it slow and easy, because perforated vinyl will snag really easily. And if it snags, you can get a rip in it. So I see that where I started is right there. Just going to bring that all the way to the end, nice and easy. cut left off up here. And around the sides. And while I'm pulling this off, I'm really watching to make sure I don't have a snag. See, I've got a little snag right there, so I'm just going to go in here and hit that spot again. Good eye on it, especially in the corners. If you're going to have any problems, they're always going to be in the corners. Okay, trim out's done. Now we're going to take our squeegee and we're going to push up and over. That way it lets the vinyl hook around the glass. Rather than just trimming it off with the glass, you've got a chance of, if it ever starts peeling from a corner or something, you're going to get dust, debris, things in there that will let it start pulling away. You don't want that. We want our vinyl to last for years and years. So, take your time and just push it up and over and tilt your squeegee as you're pushing it over, and it will push it right around those edges. In the corners, I'm just using the corner of my squeegee to hit that edge with. Up and over. Same thing down. I'm tucking everything under the glass. Corner of the squeegee, up and over. Going to see if I feel any burrs, any brazings. Professionally installed back glass graphics using the Ink Monkey wrap snot, squeegee, really sharp razor, really important, microfiber cloth, and again, the only thing you'll have to get is some tape and some alcohol. Thanks for watching, and thanks for checking out Ink Monkey.